My favorite place to look for designer jewelry is Luxury Bazaar. They carry unique statement pieces that elevate your look with both new and vintage designs at a fraction of the cost. Thank you to Luxury Bazaar for sponsoring today's video. Be sure to check out their website, linked down below. Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody's having a fabulous weekend. You're ready for Christmas and the holidays. Today's video is very exciting because it is Best of Beauty 2019. A couple days ago now, I posted a poll on Instagram stories and I asked whether you would prefer this video showcase only products launched in 2019 or all favorites. And the majority vote was for everything. So I went through my entire makeup collection and I grabbed all of the products that I absolutely love. I've separated everything by category, so we'll go through each one by one. But these are all products that I use regularly. I highly recommend them. I would repurchase them. They're the products that make me feel my most beautiful, radiant self, and I just cannot imagine not having them. As always, everything will be listed down below in the description box. Something that I'm going to do moving forward is include the prices, and then I'm also going to add a little blurb with my skin type description and my foundation shades. I know that is always highly requested and I usually forget, so sorry about that. I'm fixing my mistake moving forward, and that way this will be even more beneficial for you. Quickly before we begin, if you're new here, welcome. I am so happy to have you. This is our pink, sparkly, positivity-filled, unburstable bubble on YouTube, where we talk about luxury, beauty, fragrance, and so much more. So if you love luxury, join our community by subscribing and hit the notification bell. I'm going to begin with complexion products. Something that I noticed as I was going through all of my favorites was that there were a lot of them, which I think is really great. I hear from women all the time who are constantly hunting and searching for the right primer, foundation, concealer. These are tricky products. It's a tricky category, so I feel very lucky that I have so many choices here to share. Starting with primer, one of my favorite products of all time, of course, that's why it's in this video, is Dior Dream Skin. Dior recently reformulated, but they simply took the old active ingredients and heightened the concentration to make it even more potent and more powerful. The reason why I love Dream Skin as a primer is that it's that perfect hybrid skincare makeup product. It smooths out my complexion, it fills in fine lines and pores, so I feel like I have a more even canvas, but it also calms any redness in my skin. I sometimes will have a little sensitivity and I can have some redness on my cheeks, but when I apply this before my makeup, it just calms everything down. It also has anti-aging benefits, so it's going to help with fine lines over time. It's a skincare product, but it's a great primer as well. In terms of makeup performance, the best primer is the Allure primer from Guerlain. I have loved this for such a long time, and I think this is probably my second or third bottle. The reason I love the Allure is that it gives a little bit of radiance, but this gel that the little gold flecks are suspended in is magic. It makes your foundation go on so smooth. I like to apply this all over the face, but I always finish by pressing it into the skin. It has a very slight tackiness, which is a good thing because your foundation, your makeup, anything that you put on top is just going to adhere to the skin. So the Allure Radiance Primer not only gives you a little radiance, but it helps your makeup look better and last even longer. For those occasions where I need my foundation and I need my skin to look great for a very long time, I always use this. A new favorite is the By Terry Cellular Rose Brightening CC Serum. I've only had this a couple weeks ago now, so it feels maybe too soon to add it to the list, but I have loved it and I have made a point to use this just about every single time I've done my makeup, and it's beautiful. I love how it feels. It has a skin finish, so it doesn't feel greasy or oily, the way sometimes an illuminating primer can kind of feel like it has too much slip. This gives a beautiful soft radiance and it's not too pale. You can also mix this into your foundation to give you a little extra boost of glow. Speaking of glow, we are slowly transitioning into another complexion category. If you've watched my videos for a long time, you know that I love a liquid illuminator. I like to add it to my foundation, mix it into my primer, mix it into my moisturizer, put it all over my face, and smear it all over my body. I absolutely love them. So here are a couple of my favorites. This is Sheen. This is the Liquid Lumiere from Chantecaille. The tone of this really sets it apart. It's anti-aging, so you can apply it liberally all over the face. It feels really nice, and this is very beautiful. This is more of a thick, creamy consistency, so you really only need a small amount. You can mix this in with anything, or you can just dab it right on top of your makeup for an extra little cream highlight situation. I also really love the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This just looks beautiful. It makes your skin look like you are naturally radiant. I will say that this is probably best suited for normal dry skin. If you are very oily, you're gonna want to avoid a product like this. I feel like it does make me a little bit extra shiny. I don't mind it because whenever I'm using this product, I certainly want more shine. But it comes with this giant doe foot, and I like to use this kind of the center points of the face, and then I'll blend it out underneath my foundation. But again, you can also mix this into your foundation if you want a little extra glow. And last, the Tom Ford Glow Drops. I'm so happy that they came out with some new colors during their Soleil Neige collection. I have Liquid Sun and Liquid Sky from last year. What I love about the Glow Drops is that it is very sheer, so you don't have to be afraid that you're gonna add too much or it's going to make you too glowy and you're just going to look like a disco ball. Absolutely not. It's very soft and subtle and really intended to be worn all over the face when mixed into your foundation. So if you're looking for something with lighter coverage, the Touche Eclat All-in-One Glow from YSL is amazing. I know some people, when this came out, were on the fence about it. It's 70% water, it has hyaluronic acid, it's very lightweight. It's intended to be that way. So if you want to kind of even out your complexion, give yourself a little glow, this is really beautiful. On the other hand, the CC Cream from By Terry, I really love this. This is a little bit more of a skin finish, so this is maybe a little bit more matte, whereas this is incredibly hydrating. So depending on the day, the occasion, the climate, what's going on with my skin, I'll go through one or the other. This is my first tube of this. This is probably my third tube of this. And here we have the king and queen of the lightweight complexion category, both Chanel, of course. The CC Cream, it does so much for your skin. There's a lot of skincare benefits. It has SPF 50, Moringa Plum Extract, Vitamin C, Hyaluronic Acid. The list goes on. I wish there were more shades to choose from, but it is a truly beautiful product. I love the new version that they came out with maybe earlier this year or last year. I went through a period where I think I was talking about the CC Cream in every single video, and then I think I finally shoved it in the back of the drawer and said, enough's enough. I can't talk about this anymore. People are gonna get so sick of it. But truly, I consider the CC Cream to be one of the best Chanel products. And certainly it's one of the best complexion products available, if you can find your shade. The Le Beige Water Fresh Tint. I'm so happy that I saw this on Chanel.com because I know it completely sold out in stores and it was very hard to get your hands on, which is sort of funny because I remember seeing this product and thinking, I'm a full coverage girl. I'm not gonna want anything to do with that. And then I tried it and it was like, oh, that's why people love this. It's hydrating and it makes your skin look naturally perfect. So if you want no makeup, this is the best way to go because it truly looks like you're not wearing any makeup, but it does give you really decent coverage for what it does. You can use this by itself for something very lightweight. You can also use this as a primer. On the medium to full coverage side of things, I have 5 foundations here to talk about, and there are at least 3 or 4 others in my bathroom right now that I could easily add to the list or swap in and out, but I wanted to narrow it down to just 5 because I have so many other products to talk about. I feel pretty confident with this list. So number 1 is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I was not over the moon with this foundation when it launched. I did like it. I loved the way it made my complexion look. It is incredibly perfecting, but it was a little bit tricky to find the right shade. I wasn't really used to how it dried down and got a little bit tacky. As I've played around with this foundation, it has easily become one of my favorites. For photo shoots, any situation where I'm going to be taking lots of pictures, special occasions. It's very long wearing, so events that go late into the evening, I always grab this and I'm always so happy when I do. It makes your skin look so beautiful. I think it's going to be on a lot of people's least favorite list. It's a somewhat polarizing foundation, but for me, it works beautifully. Now that I know how to kind of work with it and what brush to use, what primer to use, how to hydrate my skin, I really have never looked back. It's gorgeous. Next, we have Dior Air Flash, which should come as absolutely no surprise. I love this foundation. I rave about it constantly. And truly, if I could choose only one foundation to wear for the rest of my life, it would be Air Flash. It's the foundation that I wore on my wedding day, which I know doesn't necessarily mean much, but I guess to me that means that that's the one that I want to wear when I want to feel my most beautiful and look great in photos. I just don't have a bad thing to say about it. This is my tried and true go-to foundation when I'm not sure which one to choose. I choose Air Flash. I take it with me on trips. It's just really beautiful. I guess one of the main reasons I love Air Flash, besides the fact that I love the way it looks on my skin, but to be more specific, is that I feel like it looks great on my skin in all different types of scenarios. So you can sheer this out and it can be a pretty lightweight foundation. You can build it up to be more full coverage. I feel like when it's hot outside, when my skin's dry, when it feels oily, if it's congested, whatever my skin is going through and whatever the weather or situation is outside, I feel like Air Flash kind of meets my every need. That's why it's my go-to. It's a balancing act when you prefer coverage, but you don't want your foundation to look or feel heavy. You live in a hot and humid climate, but you have normal to combination skin. So I always feel like the Guerlain L'Essential gives me enough glow, but it's never overpowering. It's that perfect balance, just right. And then for those occasions when I want something a little bit more matte, I love this Givenchy Tint Couture Everwear foundation. Ugh. By far one of my favorites. Whenever I want full coverage, this is perfect because it's a very nice kind of satiny finish. It's not too matte, it's not too dewy or luminous. It's just this perfect finish. If I could create my ideal foundation finish, it would be this. It is so beautiful. The shades are a little bit funny, like I think this one's maybe a little bit yellow, but I make it work and I just love the way it looks on the skin. My final foundation favorite is the Sublimage Le Tint. I love this foundation. It's probably my favorite foundation from Chanel. It gives the skin a beautiful glow, and even for me living in hot, humid Miami with normal to combination skin, I can wear this and it's not too much. Would I wear it in the dead of summer? Absolutely not, especially if I knew that I were going to be outside for a long time. That's not really the ideal situation, but in the winter months or times when it's a little bit drier or my skin is just feeling a little bit drier, this is perfect. What I love about the Sublimage Le Tint is that it gives coverage, but it looks sort of natural and glowy, and it's just very beautiful. And of course, it has the anti-aging benefits. It comes with a really great foundation brush, which is sort of perfect. For concealer, I only have two favorites, and if I were to show you all of the options that I have, that would probably sound maybe a little bit more interesting. I own a lot of concealers and I rarely grab anything else besides these two. They just aren't as great, and concealer is very tricky. It's hard to find a good one. Some people need more radiance, some people want something a little bit lighter, some people prefer coverage, so it really does come down to personal preference. These are the two that work for me. The Chanel corrector I've used for years. It's my favorite for years. And then this is something that I tried recently and I love it. I haven't had any problems with creasing and it still gives really decent coverage. The Chanel might have a little bit more coverage than the Clé de Peau, but I don't mind because I don't have to worry about creasing, and it's that perfect kind of radiant, not too matte, dries down beautifully. Both of these are amazing. If you haven't tried them, they're worth checking out. I suppose a close third would be the YSL All Hours, but it is a little bit drying, so if I had to choose like top two favorites, it's these two, hands down. I have several powders here to talk about. I have not replaced my Chanel loose powder just yet, but that would make the list. I had it for years, love it, it's amazing, but this is what I have on hand. I really love this new Chantecaille Blur powder that they came out with for holiday. Oh, this is so beautiful. I love the creaminess and the texture of it. It's a very soft, delicate powder. It does have a lot more luminosity than you really realize looking at it in the pan, but it's beautiful. And I like a luminous powder to set my concealer. I don't want anything that's too matte and too crepey. So this is very beautiful. And of course, the limited edition compact is stunning. My all-time favorite powder compact is the Chanel Le Beige because it's an ultra sheer powder. It is a matte finish, there's no luminosity, but it's not heavy or cakey at all. It just sets the makeup perfectly. And I love this limited edition packaging that they came out with. It has Coco Chanel's signature. This powder has been around forever. It's considered to be a classic Chanel piece. It really is a staple in any Chanel collection. This special packaging, I believe, is still available on the website, and it's just kind of cute. But I know this powder may be getting a revamp sometime soon. I'm sure they'll simply make it even better, but I absolutely love the Le Beige. Now for some loose powders worth checking out, I love my Givenchy Universal. It comes in the all black box. It is very beautiful. It gives a little bit of brightening. It's an all white powder, but it is meant to be translucent. So this is perfect for just setting your makeup at home. It's not really easy to travel with. I would suggest the Le Beige Compact or something a little bit smaller. But for setting makeup, this is beautiful. I picked this up right after I finished my Chanel loose powder, and I haven't felt the need to go back or replace it. I'm sort of having fun with this, and it does the trick, and it looks really beautiful. For those times that I want more luminosity, these are my two favorites for loose. I love the Lancome Absolute powder. I have this in a couple shades. This one is the Absolute Peche. I also have the Golden. It gives quite a glow. It is so beautiful. And if you're wearing a very matte foundation, or if you have very dry skin, this is the perfect powder to set with because it'll give you that kind of natural luminosity. And then the Armani Pink powder. I counted 3 of these right now currently in my bathroom. Only one of them is open, this one, and I am making my way through it. You really only need a small amount, but I love the pink powder because it gives that healthy glow to the skin. It is so angelic. It's very bridal. This is just a very beautiful powder, especially if you're wanting to look maybe more ethereal with your makeup. This gives you just an enhanced complexion. It's stunning. Out of all of the blushes in my current collection, these 5 are my favorites, and I should say 6, but one of them is lost, nowhere to be found, and that's the Tweed Beige. But Tweed Pink is holding down the fort. I love this blush. It is so light. So if you have medium, darker skin, this may not show up on you. This is one of their new exclusive launches, so I believe it's only available on Chanel.com. Maybe it'll make its way out to the Chanel counters. I'm not 100% sure. But this is just that perfect, soft, kind of powdery baby pink. It's very beautiful. And again, it kind of gives you that ethereal glow. This paired with the Armani powder would probably be very beautiful. In terms of classic Chanel blush, my favorite is Jersey. This blush is that universally flattering, goes with any eye color, goes with any lipstick, any outfit blush. And those are so important to have on hand. In fact, a lot of the blushes that I own fall into that category. They're maybe a little bit boring. They're just the type of color that will give you a soft little natural flush, and that's it. So I love this because I can pair it with absolutely anything. Jersey is such a classic color, and it's one of my go-to blushes whenever I'm wearing a red lipstick. Another one of my favorite go-tos in that situation is the Tom Ford Love Lust. This is again that perfect, slightly bronzy blush that's just gonna give you a little color to your cheeks, but it looks very natural, very soft. This is so pigmented, so it looks like I haven't used it at all, and I've used it quite a bit. So for the price, I want to say these are maybe $60, but considering how big the pan is and how pigmented they are, I think these blushes are one of the best buys from Tom Ford, which is kind of hard to find from them. But that one is a really great value. This is something that was sent to me complimentary at some point this year, and I think it is so beautiful. It's this Kevyn Aucoin Neo Blush in the shade Rose Cliff, excuse me. Rose Cliff Golden Rose. It's beautiful. It has that gorgeous ombre effect, and there are several shades to choose from, and there's not one that's more beautiful than the next. They're all really amazing, and I love how you can kind of customize your blush. So I think this is sort of fun to have. And it's not a huge compact. I mean, it's large. You get a nice range of color, but it's still small enough and sort of slim that you could easily store this within your makeup collection or take it with you traveling. I really love that. And then there's the blush that might be my favorite of all time, and it's this Liquid Orgasm blush from NARS. Everybody knows the original Orgasm. It's been a top-selling blush for probably over 10 years. It's been around for a long time, and that's sort of the classic, and I do like that blush, but it's nowhere in the same family as this. I love the liquid. The tiniest bit goes such a long way, and while this does have maybe a slight luminosity to it, it doesn't have that kind of peach golden sparkle that the powder version has, which I prefer. But the color pink, this shade, is so beautiful, and I think this is a very universally flattering blush. The way the original Orgasm looks great on everybody, the same is true for the liquid version. I don't think 2019 was a very big year for bronzer. If I'm wrong, please let me know, and if you have recommendations, please send them my way, because as I was going through my bronzers, I was kind of left empty-handed. The only one that I have to talk about, which is kind of a classic staple forever favorite, is the Soleil Tan de Chanel. This is one that I had purchased to replace another one. They last forever. I think it took me maybe 2 years to get through my first Soleil Tan de Chanel, so I know I'll have this for a very long time. Probably well into 2021. But this is just kind of my go-to cream bronzer. It is so beautiful, very natural looking. I used up my Guerlain bronzer. That would actually probably be here, but it's broken into tiny pieces. So I would say my Guerlain Terracotta bronzer would be another favorite. I'm not sure if I want to replace it right now. I'm kind of open to other bronzers. So if you have any that you love, let me know. Hopefully I'll be going into 2020 as a bronze goddess, because you're all gonna send me your recommendations. 2019 is definitely the year of the highlighter. There were so many amazing highlighters launched this year, so many beautiful highlighters, and I mean, what highlighter isn't beautiful? It's very difficult to narrow down, but I was savage and I chopped and scratched things from the list, so I only have 3 here to talk about. This one is the Duo de Camellia highlighter. This is the limited edition exclusive that launched recently. It is very bright, very blinding. It will give you that wow highlight, but it's really gorgeous. I mean, it is something special. Of all of the highlighters I own, including all of my Chanel highlighters, when I line them up in a row and take a look, my eyes kind of immediately are drawn to this one. It stands out in the crowd. It's not a beautiful flesh tone, subtle, natural glow. This is beaming, bright, blind you if you look too closely type of highlight. It can be softened and it can be really buffed out on the skin to look a little bit softer, but I don't mind. I love that they did something a little bit out there, a little bit wild, and something very special. I think this is one of their most unique highlighters, which is why it makes the list. And another one that I love is the new Chantecaille. This one is the Eclat Brilliant Face Powder that also was launched recently. This gives a similar bright beaming effect, but because it has more of a champagne gold undertone, I think it actually does look a little bit more natural than the Chanel, which has more of a platinum kind of silvery look. This is so beautiful. A little bit goes such a long way, but it's very impactful, so very special. And of course, the compact is gorgeous. I love a soft highlight, but I think when choosing favorites or those pieces that really stand out and you're like, wow, I'm so glad I picked that up when I had the chance, you want something that is maybe a little bit more bold. This is on the softer side. This is one that I got in my beauty advent calendar, which was so much fun. It was my first advent calendar. It's from Illamasqua. It's in the shade OMG. It's their Beyond Powder highlighter. This is so beautiful. I tried this recently and I fell in love with it, and I've used it I think just about every day since. You can see it's starting to show some wear, but it is stunning. In fact, I find myself looking at their website, kind of scrolling to see what other shades I can pick up. It's a very smooth texture. It goes on and it looks very beautiful. It can be built up, but it can also be worn a little bit softer, which I love. The OMG is the perfect tone. There are 2 or 3 that I'm looking at. I might have to add more of these to my collection. I love them so much. I don't need another highlighter for the rest of my life, but I'm still interested in adding more of these to my collection. That's how much I love this highlighter. That completes the complexion portion of today's video. There were a few other limited edition pieces that were launched throughout the year that could easily have been added. I'm looking right now at the Golden Land Meteorites from Guerlain. I love those so much. The New Balm Essential Stick from Chanel, that's part of their spring-summer collection. That's really beautiful too. But everything that was mentioned, those are all tried and true favorites. So now all that's left, lips, eyes, couple skincare items. I really wanted to keep this video focused on makeup, and then I have a few other miscellaneous items. So I'm going to knock those out right now, starting with these false lashes from Charlotte Tilbury. These are the red carpet lashes. She launched 4 styles. I picked up 3 of them. Out of the 3, these are my favorite. I believe they are limited for the holidays, but from what I was told, she may be testing the market and maybe these will be sticking around. These are so beautiful. They make this list because I almost want to pick up a couple more of these. They're the perfect false lash. They give a little bit of drama, a little wispiness. They have a slight cat eye effect. You know, they're a little bit longer and wispier on the ends, but they're not too dramatic. They're very easy to apply, and they're just the perfect false lash. It probably feels like a sort of random addition to the list, but the red carpet lash, that is the style from Charlotte Tilbury. They're definitely worth checking out, especially if you have a big party coming up or New Year's Eve. They're amazing. I have 2 pieces of skincare here that had to make the list, and it'll make more sense when I explain why. The first is this Sicily Eye Contour Mask. This is hands down the best skincare purchase I've made this year. I will restock this time and time again. I don't like to go without it. I don't skip a day. I don't forget to use it. It is so crucial now to my skincare routine, but also my makeup routine. I use this morning and night, the teeny tiniest little bit. As soon as I apply my eye cream, I put this on top. That's really the key because this locks in the moisture from the eye cream and it keeps the under eye area so soft and supple and hydrated throughout the day, which for me is a huge deal because I have really dry under eyes. Even with the most moisturizing eye cream, in a couple hours, it's completely sucked up and absorbed. My skin just drinks eye cream and then I need something else. But this is perfect because I can put it on in the morning and even later in the evening. I can touch my eye area and I feel like my skin is still hydrated. This makes a huge difference with concealer. So whenever I apply my makeup, my concealer on top, it does not crease whatsoever. And you might think that since it's hydrating the skin, maybe it would smear or become a creasy mess, but it simply doesn't. This helps that skin area stay so smooth that there really aren't any fine lines for the concealer to settle into. So this has made a huge difference with any concealer. When you pair it with the best concealer out there, the Clé de Peau, the Chanel, it's a match made in heaven. I highly recommend this to everybody. I will stand behind this product till the end of time. It is so amazing. The second skincare item is this Dr. Brandt Microdermabrasion, which I have never talked about before on my channel, but as you can see, it is getting towards the bottom. I'm probably halfway through. I love this exfoliator. It is so good, and I have used just about every exfoliator on the market. I swear by exfoliating the skin. And there's something about this. It has a light kind of minty smell that's really refreshing, but the grain is really nice. It polishes the skin, but it doesn't feel incredibly rough, but it also feels like you are exfoliating, which is kind of tough. I feel like exfoliators are either too hard and it's like sand on the face, or they're too light and it's like little micro beads or something that just doesn't really feel like you're doing anything. This is right there in the middle. It is the perfect size grain. And of course, I really love the smell. Ever since I started using this, I was like, whoa, this is going to be my exfoliator. I have not tried anything else that I love more than this one. I have a few more miscellaneous items, including the Supermodel Body from Charlotte Tilbury. This is one of my favorite beauty products, full stop, beyond 2019. It is so amazing. Some people may not see the purpose in it if it's not something that you would use or really suits your style, your life. I could see skipping this, but for me, it's essential. I use this all the time. I'm getting towards the bottom of this bottle, and then I do have a backup. I like to pick up the jumbo size during Nordstrom anniversary sale because it is pretty pricey, but it makes your skin look perfect and flawless and beautiful. It helps even out, uneven skin tones, but it also gives a very light tint and a light shimmer. It's not too much of either. It's the perfect tint, perfect shimmer, perfect smoothing. So it really does look like your skin is just that perfect. I like to use this on my arms, my neck, chest, décolleté. I'll put it on my legs. If I have a special occasion, or even if it's not a special occasion, even if it's just a date night, or if I'm going to brunch with the girls, I'll rub this all over my body, and I always get so many compliments. People say, "What's on your arms? What's on your body? What did you do to make your skin look so beautiful?" And this is the answer. Exfoliation, of course. Sunless tanner always helps. But the Supermodel Body, I feel like, is my personal secret. Another body highlighter that I love, made many people's worst beauty product of 2019 list, but that's okay. Here we are, going against the grain. It's the Patrick Ta, and it says for face, it's for body. It's the Patrick Ta Major Glow Highlighting Mist. I have used this on my face too. I just spray the brush and then dab, similar to the way I apply my Dior Air Flash. But this is so beautiful for spraying on your arms and then using a body brush, just wiping it all over. It gives a beautiful glow. A little bit is all you need. I think this is ingenious. Because I am somebody who highlights from head to toe, I think this is amazing. For the face, I suppose maybe it's not as practical and maybe you would skip it, but I really do think this is an underrated product. People got so caught up in using it for the face and spraying it near the lashes that I don't think they appreciated it for what it could do and the potential. I see the potential in this product. The best black liquid eyeliner of 2019 is hands down the Tom Ford Eye Defining Pen. You have the brush on one end, the sponge tip on the other. It's the blackest black, very easy to use. There's no other quite like it. My favorite mascara of 2019 is the Legendary Lashes from Charlotte Tilbury. This really took me by surprise because I had tried their full fat lashes and I liked it, but I didn't replace it, and I ended up not really loving it. I also really like the Hypnostrama from Lancome. I like the Pump and Volume HD from Dior, and I of course really love Le Volume and the Inimitable Intense from Chanel. Both of those are really nice. And then I recently started to fall in love with the Marc Jacobs, so as soon as I go through my little mini size, I'll probably get the full size of that one as well. But the one that I usually grab is the Legendary Lashes. It just does everything that I want my mascara to do. It's beautiful. Best brow product, this might be surprising. The Brow Master from Bare Minerals. I guess not surprising. If you watch a lot of my videos, you know this is a product that I use. I want to say this is maybe $17, $19, comparable to a Brow Wiz. And it's so quick and easy to use. I don't have a single complaint about this. I have a couple different brow pencils that I really like. They all kind of do what I need them to do. But for the price, this goes on so smooth and then it really stays put. So I will replace this Brow Master again and again and again. My favorite eyeliner for the waterline is the Brune Agape Stilo Waterproof Yeux from Chanel. I have so many of these eyeliners and yet I always use the Brunagapi. Not even most of the time, just all the time. I forget that I even have the others. In fact, I find that they're a nuisance because they're in the way when I'm looking for my Brunagapi. So I really should push myself out of the box and force myself to use other colors because there are so many beautiful shades of eyeliner. But the Brunagapi, it's just perfect. It's not too dark. It's not really harsh because it's not black, and it's this perfect soft brown, and it goes on so smooth. It's very beautiful. I only have 5 eyeshadow palettes to share and then 2 liquid eyeshadows. I'm not a big palette person. That's just my personal preference. They're definitely more cost effective. They're beautiful. They come with millions of shades and bright colors and metallics. It's just not me. It's not something that I tend to use. So I've purchased them in the past and then I've always regretted it. I have my old school Norvino palette, the original, that I get a lot of use out of. And then I really just stick to quads and quints. So I only have 5 here that really stood out as being something worth mentioning again. 2 of them are from Charlotte Tilbury. Here I have the Luxury Palette of Pops. This is the Pillow Talk Palette of Pops. I absolutely love this eyeshadow palette. This is coming with me to Pittsburgh for the holidays. It's so beautiful. This was one of those palettes that when I first purchased it, I used it, fell in love, and didn't use anything else for the next week. I'm so happy that I added this to my collection, and I almost picked up a backup because as makeup addicts, we're freaks and we do stuff like that. But then I decided to get the Celestial Palette of Pops, which is another one of my favorites. Between these 2 eyeshadow palettes, I feel like I have everything that I could possibly want out of a shimmery special occasion evening eyeshadow palette. These 2 kind of cover all of the bases. They're so beautiful, they're easy to use. I apply with brush and fingers, and I find that I can create really gorgeous looks, and they're very complete. You don't need a huge palette to create a beautiful evening look. So those standouts, in my opinion. And then I also have 2 from Chanel. These might actually be somewhat surprising. The first palette is a newcomer to the family. This is the Warm Memories 354. This is part of the Spring Summer 2020 collection. Maybe that's unfair to include it in a 2019 favorites, especially because it's new. But I love these colors. I skipped over all of the blurry eyeshadow quads. They did the blurry mauve, blurry blue, blurry green, blurry gray. I think those were them. This gives me that same mauve tone, but it's a little bit brighter, a little bit richer. I love these colors, and I was so happy with the look that I created the other day playing around with this. I might actually bring this with me on my trip for Christmas as well. Very beautiful. And then the other standout to me is one that's a little bit polarizing. It's the Modern Glamour palette that was launched for fall. I think a lot of people will look at this and think, absolutely not, what are you talking about? But for me, for 2019, when I think about palettes that really struck me and I thought, wow, this is one of them because it is so inspired. It's black and white, just like the Chanel logo, just like the color codes of the house. I think it is just really beautiful and classic. And you look at this and you know you can create a smoky eye. It's kind of simple and classic, and you know exactly what to do with it. I find there's just something really refreshing about this. It's minimal and sort of beautiful. The 5th and final palette I have to share is the Dior Celebrate in Gold. This was part of their holiday collection, and this might be one of those palettes that again doesn't stand out as being really crazy unique, but I've had a lot of wear out of this palette. I use this a lot. This is a palette that I took with me to New York. I'm always really happy with my makeup whenever I use it, and I think that's why this one makes the list, is because this could be your go-to palette and you would be so happy and not really need much else. Here are 2 products that were late to the game but I am completely obsessed with. The first is the Dior Mono Shadow. This is 650 Copper Sparks. It should really be called Rose Gold Sparks because this is not copper, it is rose gold, and it is beautiful. It is so sparkly and shimmering. It puts the Celestial palette of pops and all of the pop shades to shame because it gives you so much glow and pop and sparkle. But even for a daytime look, if you put just a little bit of this on the lid, it looks really glassy, almost wet. It's beautiful. It reminds me of the Tom Ford liquid eyeshadows in that way. And then I also really love the liquid eyeshadow from Chanel. This is Rising Sun. It's the only one that I've played with so far. So of course it's the one that makes the list. I'm sure I'll love them all equally. All my children I love equally. But this one in particular I think is very wearable for every day. It suits so many different looks. You can have a lot of fun with it. You can layer on top. It's beautiful. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Sitting in front of me, there are 18 lip products. I have gone through so much already. I'm not going to list all 18. I'm going to choose just some of my top favorites. And this is really difficult because there were so many great holiday lipsticks and I've done a video on those and I don't want to keep talking about the exact same lipsticks. So here are some products that maybe I haven't talked about as much recently. The Tom Ford Lip Gloss 14 Crystalline. Hands down my favorite shade. I wear this almost every time I'm wearing a lip gloss in a video. It's this one from Tom Ford. It's so smooth and beautiful. It is the perfect nude gloss. Another lip gloss that I'm obsessed with is Blythe from Chantecaille. Of all of their shades, this one is my favorite. It's so beautiful and there's something about Chantecaille lip glosses. I don't know what it is. They feel so smooth on the lips. They're not sticky whatsoever. But every time I wear a Chantecaille lip gloss, somebody asks me, what's on your lips? As if it's the most amazing, incredible thing. And it's just like a sheer lip gloss, but these are so glossy. I think that's what it is. They are so reflective that it kind of catches your eye. So these are my favorite glosses. 106 from Chanel. That's another one I have here. I'm trying to limit the lip products that I mentioned, but this is worth mentioning. This color has been around forever. They brought it back even when they redid all of their lip glosses and turned them into the Rouge Cocoa Gloss instead of the Glossomers. This is hands down my favorite lipstick formula of all time. So if you have not tried these, try them. Once you know about them, you kind of pick and choose your favorite colors and people don't go back. You live and you die by these lipsticks. There's just no other way because they are so long wearing. Truly, they will last over 24 hours. If you do 2 coats, it'll be on tomorrow. I've tested it out and I almost did a video, like a wear test, and then I think I got too busy or distracted. I ended up deleting the video, but I can say with full confidence, because I've tried it, 2 coats of this lipstick will last over 24 hours. This is the shade Intense Rosewood. It's beautiful. I have Intense Caramel on my lips today. That's a shade that I wear quite often, and it's almost replaced Tender Beige. There are so many favorites. Any lipstick in this formula is a favorite of mine. They're just too good. With the Rouge Allure Ink Fusion, I love Pink Brown. This was a shade that I was wearing almost every day, and it was so funny. I wore this to work the other morning, and my husband walked in and he said, "Ooh, is that a new lipstick?" I said, "Yes, it is." He said, "What's the name of it?" And I said, "Pink Brown." And his face was like, no, we need to come up with a new name for it. That is a terrible name. And I kind of laughed because it is sort of boring. Pink Brown is an uninspired name for such a beautiful lipstick. So this is one of my favorite shades. I also really love, this one is the Deep Pink. It comes off a little bit more red, so beautiful. And I really like that Rouge Allure Ink Fusion formula, it's nice. And then of the metallics, I love the beige. This is a beautiful lipstick topper, so you can put this on top of anything, especially Glowing Jen. The Hot Lips 2 from Charlotte Tilbury. This is a combination match made in heaven. I don't know why I discovered this. I must have been playing around with it, and I ultimately started wearing this for months on end because it was so beautiful. A couple other lipsticks. This one, Blaze of Noon from Gucci. I know I've talked about it a lot recently. One of my favorite nudes. So beautiful, so creamy and nourishing, and the packaging is stunning. I love what they are doing with their beauty products. I hope they expand and come out with more because all of their lipsticks are really amazing. Ever since Kate Middleton was spotted using her lip perfector, these have been featured in just about every beauty publication, every magazine. They really took off, but truly they are so beautiful. If you have never tried these, they are worth the hype. Really beautiful. And then two products that don't need any introduction, the Pillow Talk Lip Cheat and the Pillow Talk Lipstick from Charlotte Tilbury. These are sort of classic staples. They have a cult following, they're beautiful, and truthfully, even though they are maybe on the more basic side, I do get a lot of use out of them. The Lip Cheat in particular because it goes with so many other nude lipsticks. I'm wearing this today. If I'm wearing a lip liner and it's a nude lip, it's Pillow Talk. I don't even know if I have any other nude lip liners. That's just kind of the one that I go to. And then the lipstick is just so perfect for an everyday nude. I think it's very beautiful when you top it off with a lip gloss. It kind of adds that glamour factor. That completes my Best of Beauty 2019. I cannot believe we are about to wrap up this year, and I can't believe we got through all of those products. Hopefully you enjoyed the rapid fire style. I really had a lot of fun choosing everything, and it was really great to be able to showcase and share the products that I truly feel are best of the best that's available. So hopefully you enjoyed watching. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me any of your comments, your questions down below. I want to hear from you guys what your favorite products were from 2019. So drop me a comment. We'll keep the conversation going there. As always, I will be linking all of the products mentioned, everything that I used today on my face, down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.